1,000 years of thirst become a test. I pressed my ear against its bark at noon and heard the groove it kept since before the moon. My people learned to read the sky for wet, to hold the memory of rain without regret. Their patience became the tempo in my chest. The slow accumulation never rest. The Kalahari teachers sound a different math. How silence carves a more deliberate path. A note that travels far must travel lean, stripped of ornament, only what is seen. 1,000-year thirst, the longing is the fuel. Desire held that long becomes the rule. We don't need the water if we have the ache. The groove is what the waiting chose to make. 1,000-year thirst, drink it through the floor. The bass is just a drought asking for more. The cheekbone carries resonance. The speakers never own. The body as an amplifier. Jaw is hollow. The oldest instrument was never meant to fall. The last drop of humidity before the desert winds is where the most essential music begins. Scarcity invented rhythm long before the drum. The first beat was a heartbeat going numb. 1,000-year thirst, the longing is the fuel. Desire held that long becomes the rule. We don't need the water if we have the ache. The groove is what the waiting chose to make. 1,000-year thirst, drink it through the floor. The bass is just the drought asking for more. Baobab will outlast every song I make, still storing what the centuries couldn't take. I leave the fader open to the dry Kalahari air. The 1,000-year thirst hums, it was always there. The note I never play still casts a shadow here. Its absence in the mix is what the body hears. I learned restraint from the sculptor's empty hand. The stone removed is what makes beauty stand. My sister never finished the song she started young. Left it in the middle of the second lung. I found it hanging in the air above her chair and built a whole arrangement from that unresolved prayer. In Zulu cosmology, the dead don't disappear. They thin into the atmosphere and reappear as pressure changes wind direction. Sudden cold as the note that wasn't played but still is bold. Shadow of the unplayed note, that is where I live. In the space between the taking and the give. resonance box, turning lost to gift. What vibrates isn't just a struck times ring, but the air around the silence answering. The last dancer stands alone at closing time, moving to a frequency past rhythm, past rhyme. She isn't hearing what the speakers send, she's hearing what the music meant to say at the end. Shadow of the unplayed note, that is where I live, in the space between the taking and the give. Not the sound itself, but what the sound displays. Not the word, but the silent city race. Play less, say more, let the gap become the door. The unplayed note is what the whole thing's for. Every second layer from the mix, and what remained was stronger than the six. The shadow fell across the dance floor wide. The unplayed note, the one that lives inside. The baobab stores water in its hollow chest. 1,000 years of thirst become a test. I pressed my ear against his bark at noon and heard the groove it kept since before the moon. My people learned to read the sky for wet, to hold the memory of rain without regret. That patience became the tempo in my chest. The slow accumulation never rest. The Kalahari teaches sound a different math, how silence carves a more deliberate path. A note that travels far must travel lean, stripped of ornament, only what is seen. 1,000-year thirst, the longing is the fuel. Desire held that long becomes the rule. We don't need the water if we have the ache. The groove is what the waiting choose to make. 1,000-year thirst, drink it through the floor. The bass is just the drought, asking for more. A musical bow scraped against the cheekbone carries resonance the speakers never own. The body as an amplifier, jaw is hard. The oldest instrument was never meant to fall. The last drop of humidity before the desert winds is where the most essential music begins. Scarcity invented rhythm long before the drum. The first beat was a heartbeat going on. 1,000-year thirst, the longing is the fuel. Desire held that long becomes the rule. We don't need the water if we have the ache. The groove is what the waiting chose to make. 1,000-year thirst, drink it through the floor. The bass is just the drought, asking for more. and take. I leave the fader open to the dry Kalahari air. The 1,000-year thirst hums, it was always there.
Facing down, so predators can't enter what the maker won't drown. I learned that logic with the fader in my hand. The safest groove is one that few understand. Each blade of grass selected by the beak alone. No blueprint drawn, just instinct fully grown. I envy the precision of that feathered engineer who builds a home from nothing but what's here. My studio is a nest above a highway roar. I weave the city noise into the sonic core. A taxi horn becomes the synth's attack. The argument downstairs becomes the kick's crack. Weave a bird architecture, every strand placed twice. Once for structure, once for sacrifice. We don't build to last, we build a hole long enough for something new to be told. Weave the groove tight, entrance facing low. Only those who know the way will know to go. A valley of blood from Madagascar's coast. Cross the channel as a whisper, not a boast. Now in essence inside a rolling 808. 2 centuries of travel in 1/8 note. The dance floor is a colony of nests tonight. Each body building shelter in the light. What looks like abandoned is precision seen from far. The chaos is the architecture of who we are. Weave a bird architecture, every strand placed twice. Once for structure, once for sacrifice. We don't build to last, we build to hold long enough for something new to be told. Weave the groove tight, entrance facing low. Only those who know the way will know to go. Structure still remains, swaying in the acacia through the rains. I left the mix open, no final fate. The architecture outlasts what the architect made.
Don't ask permission from the plane. They simply feel the pull and move again. A million hooves converting instant into road. That is the only migration story I have heard. My hand wrapped herself in indigo to grieve, the color that absorbs what eyes can conceive. I dipped the bass line in that same dark vibe, pulled out something heavier than that. Between the Serengeti and the studio floor, the same intelligence is asking for more. No comfort, motion, not a rival way. The migration is the meaning, not the day. Indigo migration, no border holds us tight. The body knows the route, the maps are trying to hide. We move because the stillness has a cost, and everything that stays too long gets lost. Indigo, the color grief and sky both share. The migration never ends, we're always there. Sitar string bent flat against its fret, carrying a continent, it hasn't landed yet. The Indian Ocean in its microtone, Tao trade winds compressed into one drone. The dance floor moves in formation without command. 300 wildebeest to understand that the groove is the savannah underfoot, and every step is taken where the ancestors stood. Indigo migration, no border holds us tight. The body knows the route, the maps have tried to hide. We move because the stillness has a cost, and everything that stays too long gets lost. Indigo, the color grief and sky both share. The migration never ends, we're always there. The herd has passed, but the dust still writes their name. The groove outlives the dancer and the claim. Indigo settles where the movement ends, and what was traveling becomes what never bends. facing down, so predators can't enter what the maker won't drown. I learned that logic with a fader in my hand. The safest groove is one that few understand. Each blade of grass selected by the beak alone. No blueprint drawn, just instinct fully grown. I envy the precision of that feathered engineer who builds a home from nothing but what's here. My studio is a nest above a highway roar. I weave the city noise into the sonic core. A taxi horn becomes the sense attack. The argument downstairs becomes the kicks crack. Weave a bird architecture, every strand placed twice. Once for structure, once for sacrifice. We don't build to last, we build a hole long enough for something new to be told. Weave the groove tight, entrance facing low. Only those who know the way will know to go, 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 go. A valley of pluck from Madagascar's coast. Cross the channel as a whisper, not a boast. Now witness inside a rolling 808. 2 centuries of travel in 1/8 note. The dance floor is a colony of nests tonight. Each body building shelter in the light. What looks like abandon is precision seen from far. The chaos is the architecture of who we are. Weave a bird architecture, every strand placed twice. Once for structure, once for sacrifice. We don't build to last, we build a hole long enough for something new to be told. Weave the groove tight, entrance facing low. Only those who know the way will know to go, 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 go. When the nest empties, the structure still remains, swaying in the acacia through the rains. I left the mix open, no final fate. The architecture outlasts what the architect made.
The note I never played still casts a shadow here. Its absence in the mix is what the body hears. I learned restraint from a sculptor's empty hand. The stone removed is what makes beauty stand. My sister never finished the song she started young. Left it in the middle of the second lung. I found it hanging in the air above her chair and built a whole arrangement from that unresolved prayer. In Zulu cosmology, the dead don't disappear. They thin into the atmosphere and reappear as pressure changes one direction, sudden cold as the note that wasn't played but still is bold. Shadow of the unplayed. the whole thing's for. A sensular hangs its tone in open fifth. The resonance box turning lost to gift. What vibrates isn't just the struck times ring, but the air around the silence answering. The last dancer stands alone at closing time, moving to a frequency past rhythm, past rhyme. She isn't hearing what the speakers send, she's hearing what the music meant to say at the end. Shadow of the unplayed note, that is where I live. In the space between the taking and the give. Not the sound itself, but what the sound is placed. Not the word, but the silence it erased. Play less, say more. Let the gap become the door. The unplayed note is what the whole thing's for. Second layer from the mix, and what remained was stronger than the six. The shadow fell across the dance floor wide. The unplayed note, the one that lives inside.
The wildebeest don't ask permission from the plane. They simply feel the pull and move again. A million hooves converting instinct into road. That is the only migration story I have owed. My aunt wrapped herself in indigo to green, the color that absorbs what eyes can't conceive. I dipped the baseline in that same dark vat and pulled out something heavier than that. Between the Serengeti and the studio floor, the same intelligence is asking for more. Not comfort, motion, not a rival way. Migration is the meaning, not the day. Indigo migration, no border holds us tight. The body knows the route, the maps will try to hide. We move because the stillness has a cost, and everything that stays too long gets lost. Indigo, the color, grief and sky both share. The migration never ends, we're always there. A sitar string bent flat against its fret, carrying a continent it hasn't landed yet. The Indian Ocean in its microtone, thou trade winds compressed into one drone. The dance floor moves in formation without command. 300 wildebeest to understand that the groove is the savannah underfoot, and every step is taken where the ancestors stood. Indigo migration, no border holds us tight. The body knows the route, the maps have tried to hide. We move because the stillness has a cost, and everything that stays too long gets lost. Indigo, the color, grief and sky both share. skies, but the dust arrests their name. The groove outlives the dancer and the claim. Indigo settles where the movement ends, and what was traveling becomes what never been.